Einen herzlichen, schönen guten Morgen, meine Damen und Herren. Herzlich willkommen im Kunsthaus Bregenz. Vielen Dank für Ihr zahlreiches Erscheinen, vielen Dank für Ihr Interesse. Sie haben wirklich Gelegenheit, eine sehr besondere Ausstellung zu sehen. Und ich möchte mich natürlich bei den Förderern, bei den Unterstützern, bei jenen bedanken, die das Kunsthaus begleiten und immer wieder unterstützen. Einige Vertreterinnen und Vertreter von den Sponsoren und Donatoren sind ja da. Grete Eberle, die Präsidentin der Freunde, der KUB-Freunde und auch Repräsentanten der Hypo Vorarlberg, Illwerke VKW, die Unica sponsert uns auch und Marder Flatz, viele andere mehr. Ich habe auch natürlich zu danken hier bei dieser besonderen Ausstellung, I start with some thanks, nicht nur den aktiven Firmen, da gibt es besondere, sondern auch Expertinnen und Experten, die wir zu Rate gezogen haben. Sie können sich vorstellen, warum. Dazu gehört das Sitterwerk in St. Gallen, das diesen Bären da produziert hat, unsere neueste Erwerbung, unsere neueste Akquisition für die KUB-Sammlung. Dazu gehört Rasenmatt, da werden Sie auch erraten, was die gemacht haben. Dazu gehört das Schmetterlingshaus auf der Insel Mainau mit einer unglaublichen Expertise, die wir benötigt haben, um diesen Garten samt Pflanzen und Tieren aufzubauen, einzurichten und auch dafür Sorge zu tragen, dass es allen Lebewesen dort gut geht, über die Dauer der Ausstellung gut geht. Besonders möchte ich mich natürlich bedanken, es ist eine große Herausforderung gewesen für unser ganzes Team, das können Sie sich vorstellen, aber das ist das, was das Kunsthaus Bregenz ausmacht, dass wir so etwas schaffen, was, glaube ich, keiner vor uns geschafft hat bis jetzt und was auch zukünftig für andere Häuser, Institutionen und Museen schwierig sein wird, einen Garten, einen lebenden Garten in ein Kunsthaus, in ein Ausstellungsgebäude zu bringen. Das ist schon etwas ganz, ganz Besonderes. Und a very special thanks to you, Precious. We are so glad to have you here, and and thanks for all the ideas and endeavors and all what you invested in this exhibition. And it's amazing. It's a particular experience, and you walk through 4 floors. And I think we're going to start with one of your basic ideas, and you can feel it here, not just with the bear, but also with the sound in particular. Is reverie, is dreaming. Do you want to tell us why you...
Dreaming is a pretty big part of my life. I'm an active dreamer. I actively, continuously believe in sharing dreams with other people and like collectively dreaming. It's a pretty big ritual in my life, actually. And when I was thinking through what the show was for me, it was really about ritual and dreaming and like these active practices in my life and like fragilizing them, ripping them apart, thinking through them. So dreaming's it's my whole life. It's the pole.
How can we collectively dream?
Collectively dream. I mean, these are moments of fragilization between people, between each other, between strangers. It happens like in these really small fragments. I don't think of it as like one big moment. It's like sharing things with people that's unexpected, like softening for a stranger, like having real, like actually being present with people. And then it collectively makes a type of spirit to make that kind of dreaming possible actively for yourself or with other people.
And we are supposed to use this carpet, to use the bear, to snuggle and to hug it.
Yeah, the dream is collectively everyone. When I was thinking through what I wanted this space to be, a thing that I've been really obsessed with is hypogonic rest, is this state that your body can daydream without ego, can rest without this like ego of self. And the music is intended to do that, to take you to this time outside of time, a little bit outside of your body where you can collectively rest with other people. So the idea is that you lay on the bear, with strangers. You lay on the carpet, and some time outside of time is taken, and you, at least collectively, can let go for a moment. Yeah.
I translate a little bit of it. Es geht um diesen Halbzustand zwischen Wachsein und Schlafen und Schläfrigkeit. Und da kann man sozusagen aus der Zeit heraussteigen, aus dem Ort herausfinden. Aber das ist auch eine Art von gemeinsamen Erlebnissen und gemeinsam mit anderen das machen. Also it's the music that triggers that, right?
Yeah, it takes you to this collective like state of rest. As soon it's this hypogonic state that's very hard to get to. Sometimes you can do it with a lot of meditation. If you're really good at silent meditation, you can get to it. But it's a state where you can kind of leave your fear, this primordial anxiety, this like kind of like restful, fitful state. Allows you to like just a little bit rest, and the music activates it and allows you to slightly fragilize.
And do you feel people or human beings become more creative too in this status of intermediate between sleep and
it's actually one
wakefulness?
of our most creative states. Like it's a state that we search to get to a lot. It's a place where you can find the silence of yourself to at least like think of things that aren't actively coming up. It's a lot of like the unconscious allows itself some permissible rest.
You told me that you're very much inspired by C.G. Jung, the Swiss psychologist.
I am an active Jungian. I do twice a week Jungian psychoanalysis. It's a pretty big part of my life and a huge ritual, dreaming, collectively like writing my dreams, remembering them, talking about them, like recurring dreams. It's been like a 6-year journey now.
And a part of it, one can experience as a visitor downstairs in the entrance hall where we built 2 chambers, booth. Yeah, tell us what we are supposed to do there and experience there.
I wanted to make an existential detective agency, which has been a pretty big dream of mine for a while, and I kind of secretly think all poets are existential detectives, so this is kind of my fragment of that. And I wanted to kind of make this space thinking about my personal ritual, which is analysis twice a week, to kind of poke fun at that and think about like this space, and then also make it for other people, because it's not a ritual that's part of everyone's life, but like in this very serious like Lacanian way, I really think it should be. It's like it's an active spirit of things of sharing with other people. I just think like it's a way of like seeing other people without a defensive eye. So I've created this space where you meet a stranger, and the rules are I will not lie and I will not hide myself, and you follow the protocols, you go through the questions, and you try and answer them as honestly as you can, if you allow yourself. And it sets this moment, one, to at least fragilize a little bit and to let go of, I'm trying to soften as much as you can in this short time together, is like make a little softness so you can like, the thing about analysis is like the desire to be seen, but also this desire to be taken apart, to be disassembled a little bit, to be like fragilized by someone else, to be seen and to be asked to be taken apart. So I'm just trying to make a little space for that in a way you might not encounter it in your everyday life or even think about these questions. And even if you can't answer them honestly now, here, now, in the moment, it's something that pollinates within you. It ripples. You might go home and share it with somebody you love. It might become a small rippling in your like life, and that's the dream.
Also das ist das, was die Psychoanalyse macht. Sie nimmt dann auseinander und das eröffnet neue Möglichkeiten und neue Intensitäten und neue Tiefe. Und vielleicht gelingt es nicht immer vor Ort, aber man nimmt es dann nach Hause mit und bespricht es mit Freunden und so weiter. Und there is a questionnaire you developed with Banu Kapil, and actually Banu Kapil did a book. It's a small reader. It's called The Vertical Interrogation of Strangers. Das kann ich wirklich sehr empfehlen. Es ist unglaublich. It's a wonderful book. I was so amazed a few days ago. You know, actually, I almost spent the night to read it, and I was so stunned to read it. This is a mixture, a merging of psychoanalysis and also literature, because literature is also a way, you just said that, it's also a way to get access to the deeper, more profound questions of your life.
Yeah, I'm obsessed with the collective unconscious, with the things we share with each other unknowingly, continuously, and how we rewire and wire around that. I'm constantly being made and unmade by other people, whether they're strangers, people I love. Everything deeply changes me, and I wanted to create that sort of temporal space for others. And going to people who've changed me, being Banu Kapil, somebody I look to as like a North Star and one of my favorite poets, and Christina Sharpie, to make two of, I think, the greatest existential detectives. I recommend Christina Sharpie's book, Ordinary Notes, as well, which is also in the library. So just really thinking through, like, how to make this space collectively, and having both of their questions, like, and my questions, and they all blur together so you don't know who's who. And it makes this kind of, like, softening soup. Yeah.
And we will walk up, so you go through a corridor. So we built in a suspended ceiling.
I wanted everyone to be a little cold and afraid as you walk through in the darkness.
Okay, and then you become relieved or not if you enter the next space.
It depends.
Depends on what.
Your delicacy. The problem, you enter the second floor, and you are in a space of disassemblement. The piece is called I Wanted to Kill But Had Nothing to Kill. And it's all of these ripped apart, I called them my angels, and they're all hanging from nooses, and they're floating silently, like swinging back and forth. And the piece is, inherently about violence, but also absurdity, the absurdity of violence, of racism, of capitalism, just living through the like ontological suffering of all of it, but still this fragmented, disassembled angel, unable to be killed.
Also da geht es wieder um das Wiederauseinandernehmen von diesen Figuren. Das sind sozusagen Puppen. They also have wings, real wings.
Real wings, taxidermied bird wings.
Also quasi von ausgestopften Tieren. Also es sind einfach Hühner, Tauben, chicken, doves, right? It's very
Chicken,
conventional.
doves.
So there's no wild animals.
No.
Yeah, and dank an Martin Beck, because he actually invented motors, and they're hidden on top of the ceiling, a suspended ceiling. And these motors move the ropes or threads where these puppets hang on, and that's why they can kind of very eerily swing.
Yeah, which is kind of like thinking through like a lot of flight. The show goes through so much like motions of flight, and like I saw them like in a funny way as their own mobiles, like these little weightless like floating creatures.
Yeah, it's true.
Yeah.
And when we get up to the top floor,
Yeah. Get up to the top floor.
the most challenging part.
You get up to the top floor and you're immersed in my garden. Well, you're in two fragmented worlds between my garden and the sky. For a while, I've written these poems. Everything usually starts off as a poem for me. That's like the beginning seed for everything. And for a few years, I could only write these poems in a repeating motion called sky songs, which were my prayers to the sky. They kind of formed this book I wrote, But Did You Die? And it took me about like 8 years to write all of them. And I knew that one day I wanted to read them in the sky, to the sky. And I have a big part of my life is that I'm obsessed with escapism. It's like a desire for me to be able to continuously like search for freedom in different ways. That's why I make gardens. That's why I have my pilot's license so I can fly. And it's been an active thing I've done since I was very young. So I flew over my hometown in Ohio, where I grew up, in the subdivision where there's an airport, and I flew with the same people who taught me to fly, who I've been flying with since I was very young. And you see me flying over Cincinnati, Ohio, and reading to the sky. And that's my prayer. It's my sky song. And then across, you're trapped inside of my garden, which is full of some poisonous plants, some beautiful fruiting trees, small flowers that will slowly bloom and die, and life will come and form over the course of the next few months. Then you have the black butterflies that are trapped in their own utopia. I mean, everything in there is not necessarily good for humans, but it's perfect for them. So it's kind of everything wants to kill you, but it's amazing for them. And they're just living in there, and they'll be born and die and reproduce in there.
Also im obersten Stock hat man sozusagen wiederum separierte Räume, und auf der einen Seite sieht man den Film, und der Film hat zu tun mit wiederum ein Gedicht oder mit mehreren Gedichten, die Songs to the Sky, also quasi Gebete, um den Himmel anzubeten, und um das auch wieder zu verwirklichen, sieht man sie im Flugzeug fliegen. Schon mit 16 hat sie den Flugschein gemacht über ihre Heimatstadt in Cincinnati, Ohio, fliegt sie mit dem Flugzeug und rezitiert sie ein solches Gedicht, und gegenüberliegend ist ganz klar, ist ein Habitat für diese Pflanzen und Schmetterlinge, und das sind teilweise giftige Pflanzen, aber sehr schöne Blüten, einheimische, aber auch aus Nordamerika stammende. Also nochmal vielen Dank an diese Expertise, vor allem sozusagen die botanische Expertise, aber natürlich auch die Expertise bezüglich der Schmetterlinge. Und die Schmetterlinge sind schwarz und haben nur kleine, you decided upon to choose 8 different species of butterflies, and they're all black.
Using the like swallowtail is a big continuous, it's like a relationship I have with them. I have worked with them. My Venice piece, they all stem from this piece called The Sky Is Always Black, Fort Moose, which is about the last colony of freed black slaves in the US that are kind of in this, which freedom to me is constant flight, continuously. Well, I have my pilot's license.
Also die Freiheit ist ein ganz wichtiger Begriff, die Träumerei ist ein ganz wichtiger Begriff, und ich glaube die Poesie, so it's freedom, because we are talking, so in politics you always hear about the notion of liberty, but you and the different notion of freedom. What's the difference between liberty and freedom?
For me, it's like, because I think freedom is continuously collective. It's when we're in collective freedom together, flying together, unbound, unowned by anyone. Yeah.
Okay. Do you want to add something?
No.
No. Vielen Dank. Wollen Sie etwas hinzufügen, Fragen? Stehen natürlich gerne zur Verfügung. Es gibt im Anschluss sicher Möglichkeit zum Gespräch, auch im kleineren Rahmen. Ja. You mean the logistic struggles? Yeah. First of all, we wanted to make sure that the living beings, are safe and will survive, and that they have a good life here. And the butterflies have a very short lifespan of only 16 days. But actually, we got the expertise by the Schmetterlingshaus in Insel Mainau, and there was a fellow called Stefan Reichhardt, and he was a kind of a consultant for our team to get the butterflies, but also to find the plants, because what I've learned and what you all learned, basically, if you're not into the subject, butterflies are connected to certain plants. Certain species of butterflies only drink the nectar of certain plants, and you have to make sure that this coexistence of beings works well. And then we had the problems with winter, because we have a special season. But as you can see, everything went well. We have like these slow blossoms, regional plants, but we have also larger trees.
It's also definitely warmer up there than anywhere else in the museum. So as you walk through the cold steps and go up into the garden, it's a transformational heat difference. So they're thriving, and it's only going to get warmer for them, and more suffering for us as the show goes on, which is, a continuous theme in my work at the Byler Garden. Last summer at Foundation Byler, when the butterflies were in their greenhouse in the summer Swiss heat, it was like 90 degrees. I kind of made like a torture chamber for humans, but a perfect world for them. I mean, I'm continuously reminding everybody that the human world is not the center. Decenter the human, continuously remember all the worlds that we live inside. And I'm into a little suffering.
We benefit.
We benefit continuously.
Because of the beauty, right?
The beauty is continuous and multiplicitous. It's just important to be tapped into all of the different worlds and to see them, to be inside of them, to take witness, There's like so many. I'm like so grateful that I'm tapped into all of the worlds. Ja.
Aber es ist natürlich sehr speziell, weil nochmal, das kann nur das Kunsthaus Bregenz, jedes andere Museum oder Kunst hat ja sozusagen andere Kunstwerke im Haus, und sobald sie sozusagen lebendes Material oder auch nur Erde oder Pflanzen einbringen, bringen sie natürlich Pilze und Bakterien und so weiter rein. Und das ist natürlich in anderen Kunsthäusern niemals erlaubt, und bei uns ist es eben exklusiv möglich. So, dann bleibt mir so, just to announce a few events that are important. Tomorrow night, the opening. A very warm welcome. It will be a warm welcome because it will be more warm than usually. Then on Saturday morning, 11 o'clock a.m., Hans-Ulrich Obrist will speak to you and Claude Achille in the artist talk. So this is also a
super
big
fun.
deal. Ja. Und dann haben wir noch vorbereitet, und das ist ganz, ganz großartig, gegen Ende der Ausstellung, am Wochenende um den 24. Mai, wird Precious gemeinsam mit Freunden wiederkommen, und es wird eine Serie, so ähnlich wie mit Tariq Atoui, an Veranstaltungen geben, Performances, Lesungen, Musik natürlich. Banu Kabil will attend, diese großartige Autorin Jamin Webster will kommen, eine unglaublich wichtige Psychoanalytikerin. Es gibt vieles andere mehr, unter anderem auch, und we didn't touch upon one subject which is also very important to you, not just poetry, it's cooking in the kitchen.
Cooking, yeah, I mean, food is a pretty big part of the way that I experience love and care with other people, and it shapes a very special part of my practice. I have a collective with my friends. Last summer, not this, 2 summers ago now, we took over Rickrit Teravania's restaurant upstate. Rickrit is also a dear friend of mine, and we cook together often. Also a food-obsessed artist. It's a secret thing that I mean, I'm a chef, but it's a very big love language of mine.
And you make the secret public because there will be a dinner and on this night, on the 24th, and you're certainly invited to join, and Precious will be cooking.
Wow. Ooh.
Otherwise, so many thanks.
Yeah.
Thanks to you. Thanks for your attention. And and thanks in particular for you.
Thank you, Thomas. Thank you, everyone.